This is one of those techniques where you ask 10 people how you should do it and you're going to get 10 different answers. There's no similarities when it comes to what guys think about fluorocarbon, braided line, what size weight you should use when you're fishing in certain depths of water. We never can really come to an agreement on what is the right hook and what is the right rod. Do you want a moderate action? Do you want extra fast? So let me dive into the hooks that you need. I don't think this is a perfect science when it comes to the correct hook to flip with. And that's what we're talking about today. We're talking about flipping and pitching. This is a technique that I've won a lot of money at. I've won a college national championship. I've won a BFL. So this is my ultimate strength by far. And I don't use just one hook when it comes to flipping. I have two hooks. So I'm going to give you the attributes, the things that make these hooks not good, and let's dive into that. So there's two hooks that you can use, in my opinion, when it comes to flipping. You have a 4/0 straight shank, round bend, heavy wire flipping hook. Now, most companies just call this a flipping hook. It comes with a little bait keeper, and it is, like I said, a round bend straight shank hook. Then you also have a super line extra wide gap hook. Now this bait can be thrown not only on super line, braided line, but also heavy fluorocarbon. So this is also a great hook, and there just cannot be one. You need them both. So the biggest asset that a straight shank flipping hook has is how much bite is in that hook. So bite is how much room is from the eye and shank of your hook to where the line is coming out to your point. So here we have let's say half of those claws is how much bite this has. And that's good. When you set the hook really hard, anything that is standing between here and here is getting hooked. The downside of an EWG is there's very little bite. You look at here's the line, here's the eye, here's the point. We said half of the claws on the other one. This one, that's how much bite is right there. So the very tips. So it's about a quarter of the bite of a straight shank is on the EWG. The upside of an EWG is that this hook works really well when you semi-slack line hook set. So if you're not the guy that reels down, you just feel the bite, you turn your handle once, set the hook, this is a great hook for that. Also, with this hook, an EWG, 20% of the time when you hook them, they will never come off. They are hooked so good that pliers can hardly get it out of the fish's mouth. They get hooked in the cheek, and there's no getting off with this hook. So, back to my semi-slack line opinion. If you are fishing this bait around laydowns, blowdowns, treetops, whatever you want to call them, if a fish eats your bait and you have an obstruction in the way, like here he is, here's a branch, and the fish swims underneath the branch, you cannot set the hook on anything but a semi-slack line. For that reason, this is the best bait when you're flipping laydowns. This is also great for bedding fish. You have a fish on a bed, he eats it, he immediately darts off the bed. You think he's still right here. He's not, he's over here. You set the hook right here. It picks up that line semi-slack and it hooks him. Reeds, any type of cover where your line might be hanging over something, this is an amazing hook for that. The downside of this hook is it doesn't have a bait keeper, so when you rig your bait up with an EWG, a lot of times what will happen is it will slide down the hook. There's nothing keeping it up on there. It's not the most efficient rig when it comes to just good old-fashioned Texas rigging. That straight shank round bend flipping hook will stay, the bait will stay on that hook a whole lot better. So if you are trying to be as efficient as you possibly can, let's say you're flipping docks or you're flipping something where it's just about how many flips you can make in a day, without fooling with your rig, this hook is much more efficient. That's not going to come off there. It's not going to slide down the hook because it's got that bait keeper on the back. So that's really it when it comes to these two things. It's pretty simple most of the time. If you're losing fish on the straight shank, go to the EWG, and vice versa. Landing fish, flipping and pitching is the toughest part. You're typically pulling those fish out of heavy cover, and if you don't have the right hook for the situation, you're going to lose those fish. So I hope this helps you guys. Good luck to you, and I'll see you on the water.